What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 18. We start today's stuff on the back of the win over Brighton, and of course our two transfer deadline day signings of Ainsley Maitland-Niles from Arsenal and Axel Tuanzebe of Manchester United. We had two bids at the end of deadline day, one for De Silva, which of course we turned down, and also one for Zambarek as well. You might notice this in your saves, like directly after transfer deadline day ends, you'll get a bid or two bids for your players. It's so frustrating that they can't come within the 10-hour time you get on deadline day. And also our first scouting updates of this season as well. I'm still a little bit bitter about losing all those youth players from our academy due to the bug in this year's career mode, but there are still four great players in there. Connor Welsh looks great, but this guy looks the best of the lot. Victor Lorentzen, 16-year-old Danish fullback with 92 to 94 potential. And unsurprising, that gives him the potential to be special. So 60 overall. We've got an abundance of fullbacks slash wingbacks here, so I really don't know what to do with the guy. Now, he's got 82 strength, 86 aggression. Because he's so early on into his career, he can really be trained to play anywhere. With high work rates, though, and some okay stamina, I'm thinking possibly defensive midfield. I mean, really, we could train this guy anywhere. It wouldn't take him too long to get the stats up because they're very well balanced in shooting, passing, dribbling, and defending. The pace and physical, of course, are a bit better. But even so, I think to begin with, what I'll do is train him as a wing back, but then train him as a holding mid as well. Try and make him quite versatile. He looks like he could be the perfect understudy for Daniel Wass. That's why I brought the veteran in, to be the mentor for these young Danish talents who are coming out of the academy. And him with the potential to be special, the second one we've had with potential to be special alongside Sean Pratt. I'm very excited indeed. The question is, where do we play him? And how do we get him enough game time to develop? Still, the first game of today's episode, first of four. You saw our four fixtures coming in September. Really tough games this month as well. Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool in the EFL Cup. And of course, at the end, Leeds away, and then a road, tough place to go, of course. So, first game of the month was going to be Chelsea away, Stamford Bridge here, West London derby. Obviously, they're the only team so far we've recorded a scalp against. We beat them in the Community Stadium last season. But in the reverse fixture, the less said the better. We absolutely hammered at Stamford Bridge last season. I thought we'd be brave inside the first 20 minutes, go for chances. We had one, Ivan Toney denied by Kepa, but this was one of those games where, and I've mentioned it before, like since the new FIFA has come out, the one thing I've noticed is how much better Ultimate is and how easy it is for the AI to punish you for any mistake you make. I made the slightest little mistake there, and once Chelsea are inside, Mason Mount turns in the cutback and makes it 1-0. Against this AI on Ultimate, you really have to be, if not flawless defensively, then certainly up there, because once again, we don't give them much space. We're getting really tight to them, but still, all they need is one little sighted goal. If they put their laces through it, they'll probably find the back of the net. First Mason Mount making it 1-0, then right before the break, Romelu Lukaku makes it 2. And again, the AI in this year's FIFA on Ultimate are just so hard to stop, especially against the big teams. 7 minutes after the restart, Raya kept it at 2-0 with an incredible, absolutely brilliant save to deny Lukaku his second, but soon afterwards, just past the hour mark, once again, Chelsea going forward, and N'Golo Kante plays the 1-2 with Mason Mount, takes it in his stride, gets round De Silva, continues to dribble with the ball stuck to his feet, offloads to Lukaku, he'll find Mason Mount. And again, it's just very hard to defend against the AI in this year's FIFA Ultimate because their passing is so good. And when they're either around the edge of the area or just inside, you don't want to put it foot in, because as you would have seen when N'Golo Kante's dribbling there, the ball is basically glued to his foot. So if you don't win the ball, it's a penalty, simple as that. So it's just so hard to defend against the AI when they're in and around your area. But the one thing I am finding since I've increased the half length to 6 minutes, is that at the moment, I'm getting a lot of goals, and I'm liking it as well. We were the lowest scorers in the Premier League last season, but that did improve slightly towards the end after we increased the half length to 6 minutes. And Roberto Gutierrez does it again. It's a consolation goal. It counted for nothing from the Uruguayan, but rounding the goalkeeper, sliding into the unguarded net. But whilst our Uruguayan teenager is a heck of a talent, this guy's been a world star for many years. World star. Romelu Lukaku gets the hat-trick and gets the match ball. 3 goals, 3 points. Chelsea win by 4 goals to 1. So yeah, Lukaku with the hat-trick in that game. And again, they see the XG for Chelsea was at 4. I didn't think I played too badly in the game, but again, defending against this AI at times is an almost impossible task. Just so difficult to do. So 4 in the final score, big defeat there. But again, at the moment, we're just not able to compete against these teams just yet. Like, we're making improvements. We're making improvements to the Brentford side ever since the save began, but there's still an awful long way to go before we can compete with those guys on a regular basis. Still, Lorenzo's position change only took 2 weeks, and after that, I did decide to train into holding mid as well. Just because, again, I don't think he's going to get much game time in the wing-back roles in his team. He's got so many wing-backs and some good young talents as well. I think he's got more of a chance of playing for us in that holding midfield position. And for the second game of today's episode here, returning to the Community Stadium, but another big battle as we will take on Nuno Spurs. 18 minutes into the game, well, worst possible start. You know those players that always score against you in FIFA? Right, I'm going to ask you guys to comment down below. Who's that player that always scores against you? For me, it's Heung-min Son. The South Korean is literally unstoppable. And listen, I'm a massive fan of the guy. But my question is, how on earth do you stop him? I mean, seriously. We've talked about long shots being so OP this year. We know it. The AI only need a little bit of space. And listen, Son is absolutely class. Ever since coming in from Leverkusen, he's adjusted to life in the Premier League perfectly, adapted so well. But, goodness gracious me, this is just absolutely inch perfect. 25 yards from goal, top bins. David Herrera has no chance. Brentford 0, Spurs 2. Stopping Heung-min Son is just something I simply cannot do every single FIFA. So yeah, Spurs leading by 2. Almost got back in the game soon after, though. Rico Henry going on a charging run but smacking the post as it was still 2-0. And despite being 2 goals down, I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I kept on attacking, looking for chances, getting a lot of joy down the left flank with Rico Henry, and right before the break, Gutierrez should have got another, just puts it wide, still 2-0. But again, fortune favouring the Braves. So I saw what was working in the game. I saw how I was creating chances, and it was going down the left of Rico Henry. So in the second half, after we closed out the first half pretty strong, we couldn't get a goal, but we would 12 minutes after the restart. And it's that man once again, and I say that man, that young man, 19-year-old Roberto Gutierrez is now our top scorer this season. He is looking absolutely unbelievable. I'll say it again, at 19 years old. First taste of Premier League football. I was excited when we picked him up, and right now he's looking incredible. But unfortunately, with 22 minutes to go, still down by a goal. We'd really done well to come back in the game and half the deficit, but Harry Winks scores a sensational volley here. Some of the goals I conceded against the AI in this year's FIFA are incredible. It's 2-1, it's 3-1 even. Spurs restore their 2-goal cushion with 8 minutes to go. What a lovely through ball. And it's that man once again, Gutierrez, who just can't stop scoring. 7 minutes to go, 3-2. 5-goal thriller in West London. Excellent ball through to Roberto, but unfortunately, you see the reactions at the final whistle. It comes in vain. Final score, Brentford 2, Spurs 3. Heck of a game. And I have to say, look at the XG there. Man, I'm being honest. I felt so misfortunate not to at least get a point in that game. Played really well, got loads of chances, hit the woodwork, unfortunately beaten by a Son wonder goal and a great Harry Winks volley as well. Just one of those things. With the Gutierrez though, got to show you the stats here. 5 goals in 4 games for Roberto. And I got a nickname for this guy already. The goal machine. Because he literally cannot stop scoring. 5 in 4? That's more than 1 in 1. Obviously, well done, basic maths. But even so, at the moment, Roberto is just looking like one of the most lethal strikers to start the Premier League campaign off. Lukaku's leading the way in the race for the Golden Boot right now. I wish I would have shown you the top scorers. He's got 9 goals in 5 games. Absolutely ludicrous. But hey, Gutierrez, 5 goals in 4 for the 19-year-old. That is absolutely remarkable for the teenage talent. Still, for the third game of today's episode, on the back of back-to-back losses, fearing our third straight as we went away to Anfield to take on Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. EFL Cup, third round, and again, fielded weakened side for the game. Mentioned it before, we'll always play backup teams in the EFL Cup unless we get to a latter round like we did last season, reaching the quarterfinals for being knocked out at Old Trafford. So we were 2-0 down, Firmino bagging the second, and 7 minutes after the restart, trying to get back in the game as Jakobsen would do it for us as well. Brilliant little ball through by Jay Jones. And, you know, I talked about the youth players in the team. Gutierrez not coming out of the academy, but a really great young talent. Obviously, Charlie Ball, we know, very good wing back. Sean Pratt got a lot of game time coming out of the academy last season. But don't forget, Super Seb Jakobsen getting the goal there. He's not a forgotten man. When he gets minutes, he does quite well. Gets a consolation goal, but sadly, it was all it proved to be. 2-1 loss away in the Northwest. So, again, another defeat for Brentford after what was a reasonably good start to the season. Unfortunately, now we're beginning to struggle a little bit. But hey, it's been a tough month for September, man. 3 really difficult games there. You know, 2 away against against Chelsea and Liverpool, and then Spurs at home as well. None of those 3 games easy. Neither was this one. Our final game of the month. I really didn't want 4 straight losses in all competitions. Leeds away. Made a good start to the season at Ellen Road. Very tough place to go. So right from the first whistle, I was in attack mode. Fortune favours the brave. We've done really well in front of goal this season. Let's get an early one. Unfortunately, we came up against Meslier, who, as we know, is a fantastic young goalkeeper, who in this game was just unbeatable. Made 2 really good saves early on, and then 7 minutes before the break makes yet another 3 fabulous saves by Leeds' number 1, denying Tony on the 1-on-1 as we were still deadlocked at 0-0. And in the second half, just couldn't create many chances. Missed 3 great ones in the first half, nothing coming in the second, but one final attack in the final minute. Henry down the left-hand side, looks to peg it back, and the goal machine has his shot blocked, and Leeds would clear. Final score, 0-0 at Ellen Road. We stopped the rot after 3 straight defeats in all competitions, but no goals there at Ellen Road. Tough goalless draw. Should have won the game, but just one of those things. Like in the Spurs game, it was a case of missed opportunities, particularly in the first half. Look at that, 3.3 XG, but not a single goal getting scored. But that's the main reason why. Meslier, absolutely amazing in this game. But that's how I'm finding FIFA 22, man, in a nutshell. It's just so inconsistent. Some games are just goal gluts and both teams are scoring left, right and centre. Some games I defend really well, play lockdown defence, get loads of chances but just can't take them. So not a terrible start though, 2 wins in our first 6, 11th place at the moment. Much better than last season and lots of positives to begin the campaign off. That was this episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you had, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.